Hi, this is Jang. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you the unboxing and installation process for the brand new Aeroblade rooftop tent from Mars Adventure Gear. This thing is super thin and lightweight, which is a huge advantage for an EV's battery efficiency. At the same time, it's a hard shell, so it's still really durable. I was using the iCamper X-Cover 3.0 and it served me well, but it was thicker than I liked, which created a lot of air resistance and raised my vehicle's height, making it tough to get into some parking garages. Because of this, I started looking around for other options. The Mars Aeroblade was released, and I ultimately chose it for its slimness, simple design, and the expandability that lets you mount additional crossbars on top of the tent. The Aeroblade is less than 3.48 inches thick and weighs only 110 pounds, which is so slim that I felt I could just leave it on my vehicle's roof permanently. It arrived safely on a pallet with 4 boxes strapped down tight with no damage to be seen. Each box has the Mars Adventure Gear logo on it. The company is based in California, so the shipping was fast and their customer service is excellent. Let's open the first box. Judging by the size, I'm guessing this is the ladder for the tent. It comes with a nice carrying case too. The ladder on my old X-Cover used a clip system, but this one seems to use hooks to lock it in place. It's not too heavy but feels very sturdy, and it has thick rubber pads on the bottom to prevent slipping. The next box has a set of crossbars. These are included in the adventure package. They were wrapped carefully in bubble wrap to prevent any scratches. They're slimmer than standard crossbars, but they can support up to 100 pounds and can be installed anywhere you want on the rooftop tent. Inside this box is the thermal insulation liner. It also came in its own dedicated case with the Mars logo. I'll install this and give you a full review when I take it camping later. Let's open up the Aeroblade rooftop tent box. They've placed thick foam protectors on every corner, so I wasn't worried about shipping damage. There were some other components tucked in on the side too. It comes standard with 2 of these pouches that you can hang on the tent hooks to store shoes or other items. Opening this small box, I found a QR code for the installation manual, along with the various plates, mounting bolts and nuts, eye-ring bolts, a wrench, and even a rubber strip to reduce vibrations. Scanning the QR code takes you directly to the detailed installation guide. Before we lift it onto the vehicle, the first thing we need to do is install the mounting bars on the bottom of the tent. So, I carefully flip the tent over. It's not that heavy, so I could do it myself, but I recommend laying down a box or a soft blanket to prevent any scratches or damage. I pre-inserted 2 bolts into each of the tent's bottom rails. Then, you just place the mounting bar over the bolts. There are no preset position markers, so I used a measuring tape to make sure they were spaced equally from both ends before tightening them down. I set mine at about 8 inches from the edge. Now, it's time to carefully flip it back over and get it onto the Cybertruck. It weighs 110 pounds, so it's not crazy heavy, but to be safe and make the installation easier, I decided to hoist it up to the ceiling. After lifting the tent to a reasonable height, I roughly positioned the Cybertruck underneath it and lowered the tent slightly. I didn't need to lower it all the way. I left a little bit of space and then used the mobile app to raise the Cybertruck's air suspension. Now, I'll release the ratchet straps and pull the truck forward just a bit to do the final work. Next is carefully adjusting the position of the rooftop tent. I nudged it forward, backward, left, and right to get it perfectly centered on the vehicle. This isn't a hard job, but it took a bit more time than I expected because I wanted to get it perfect in one go. I also had to shift the position of my rearmost roof rack crossbar slightly to align with the tent's mounting rails. And here are the plates and bolts that secure the rooftop tent. Once I finalized the position, I slid the bolts into the tent's mounting rails and then secured them tightly with the plates and nuts. It's a good idea to double check the alignment one last time while tightening everything down just in case it shifted while you were lifting and lowering the tent. It's normal for the mounting plate to bend slightly as you tighten it, so don't worry and just make sure it's nice and secure. If you're concerned about vibrations where the crossbar and mounting plate meet, you can cut the included rubber pad to length and stick it in between. And just like that, the installation is complete. I also bought and installed this wind deflector to block bugs and dirt from hitting the front of the Aeroblade tent. I'll leave links to all the products I showed today in the description box below. As I mentioned earlier, the Aeroblade tent is only 3.48 inches thick, so it's so slim you barely feel like you have a rooftop tent on. The length is also a perfect match for the Cybertruck's roof rack, making it look like it was designed as a single set. I took it for a quick drive, and the wind noise I was worried about actually seems to be less than when I just had the roof rack alone. I plan to do some long-distance driving to test the actual difference in battery efficiency before and after the tent, and will share the results with you soon. Let's test out the tent. The ladder mount is on the left side by default, but since it mounts onto the tent's rail system, it's easy to change its position to wherever you want. First, let me peel off this protective plastic film on the roof. The top cover has a very sleek Mars logo and terrain line illustration. There are 4 latches in total, one on the left, one on the right, and 2 on the back. Once you release them, you just need to give it a little push, and the hydraulic shocks open it up very smoothly. Now that it's open, you can see how well it follows the lines of the Cybertruck. The graphic on top of the tent is more visible now too, which looks even cooler. It has large windows on both sides and in the front, giving it a really open feel. There's plenty of space for 2 adults to use comfortably. The interior space is a bit smaller than the X-Cover, but the convenience of it being so slim and light that I don't feel the need to take it off after a camping trip is a much bigger advantage. So from now on, I plan to just keep it installed like this. Closing the tent is also incredibly simple. You hook this elastic cord in the middle to help pull the fabric in, then just pull the lid down and lock the 4 latches. It's so much easier and faster to use than my old X-Cover tent. In the next video, I'll be taking the Aeroblade tent on a camping trip. I'll give you a more detailed look at the interior space and other useful accessories. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. See ya!